Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head down to Germany once again, and this is a beer that I'm really quite interested to review. We're going to go to one of my favourite regions of Germany again, which is Franconia, of course, home to about 300 different breweries or something crazy like that. But we've got a brewery here who are quite interesting because they are quite experimental, and for Germany as well they brew some American style beers. So this is a pretty interesting brewery, and they're very new, like I say. So for this one we are going to go to Gänstaller Bräu, who are from a little place called Hallerndorf near Bamberg, and this one is their Zoigl beer. It's listed as a lager beer, but on Rate Beer it's rated very highly. It's 92 overall, one of the top 50 beers within its style actually, but it's rated 99 within the Keller Landbierswickel style. If you know your German beers, you'll know that these are the three different types of Franconian lager. The Keller beer is a bit more hoppy, the Zwickel is somewhere in the middle, and then the Landbier is the one that's a bit more malty. So it's a very interesting style of beer. They are all quite unique, and this one is supposed to be one of the top 50 of those, so it should be very interesting. And I love returning to this region of Germany because Bamberg was where my love of beer really began. My friend lives there and he introduced me to Schlenkerla, and then that was me just hooked on beer after that. So I always love returning to this region of Germany. So anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual websites are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Gänstaller Bräu. This is the very first time I'm trying one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media, so make sure you check that out. And if you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. And to those of you watching in Germany, I do apologise for any bad German pronunciations in this video. I'm fairly good at German, I think, because I used to live in Heidelberg, but please do get in touch and let me know some of the other German beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. I love reviewing German beer, so it would be great to hear from you guys. So anyway, to tell you about Gänstaller Bräu. So Gänstaller Bräu is located in the small municipality, I guess you would say, of Hallerndorf in Franconia, North Bayern, Germany. We're talking quite close to Nuremberg actually, but the municipality has a population of about 4,000 people, and it's part of the Forchheim district, and it's about halfway. Hallerndorf itself is about halfway between Bamberg to the north and Erlangen to the south. Bamberg, of course, is a bit of a haven for beer, and Franconia itself has about 300 different breweries for a very small geographic and small population region of Germany actually. But the closest big city, like I said, to Bamberg and Erlangen and things is Nuremberg. But the Hallerndorf municipality incorporates a few different towns. There's Hallerndorf, Willersdorf, Schneid, Pauxfeld, Schlammersdorf, and also Trialsdorf as well. But the brewery itself is located in Schneid, and it was founded by Andreas Gänstaller in 2011. And Andreas apparently had been brewing as a hobby since the age of 15, and he'd actually previously been the managing director of one of the breweries in Bamberg, and he'd also led a brewery in Steigewald before he founded his own company in 2011. But the brewery is actually in the old bottling building of the Brauerei Friedel, who previously had brewed beer in Schneid for quite a few centuries, but they moved to a new facility in 2007, and Andreas has leased this building from them since 2011, and they currently produce 1,500 hectolitres of beer per year, but they have plans to expand this to 5,000 hectolitres of beer per year. And just when I looked at the Facebook before actually filming this review, they were getting new tanks and things, so they are well on their way to expanding their capacity. But Andreas apparently is a very nice and very kind of happy man. From the article I read on the brewery, apparently his enthusiasm is quite infectious. But this brewery are very interesting because they're very experimental. These guys, when this is very unusual for Germany, they actually brew some of the American style beers. They have their XL range, and there's Russian Imperial Stouts, American double IPAs and IPAs and stuff like that. And that's very unusual to find that in Germany, particularly in Franconia, when it's such a kind of culturally rich and culturally German part of Germany. So it's really cool to see that breweries, even in Germany where they've got this kind of brewing heritage, they are starting to try beers and brew beers from all over the world. So this brewery are quite rightly very highly rated, I guess, and very experimental. So this is really interesting just to see how beer culture, even the established beer culture countries like Belgium and Germany, are starting to bring in things from outside too. So I guess this is a brewery that you really want to try, and from what I gather, these beers are exported quite a bit now. You can get them in America, I think in Australia as well, and obviously I've got this one in Sweden. This one came through the Systembolaget Small Portier range. I got this last week actually, so yeah, it should be a pretty interesting review. Like I say, this one was rated at 92 overall and 99 within the style, so I'm very much looking forward to trying this one. So yeah, go and check out the rate beer page for Gänstaller Bräu, and you'll see all the different beers that they do. There's about 30 or so of them listed there. But let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself. So this one is a 5.8% lager beer. As I said to you, it's listed on rate beer as a Keller, Zoigl and Land beer, and these are the three types of Franconian lagers. The Keller beer is the most hoppy one, the Zoigl is somewhere in the middle, and the Land beer is the one that's a bit more malty. But there's also a smoked version of this as well, and that's one that I have to admit I would love to try. So I'll just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we crack it open. You can see the brewery symbol there is this kind of swan. You can just see that there, the swan with the curved wing. That is pretty cool. But this is a bit more, the label style on this one is a bit more modern than what you'd typically find, in my experience, in Franconia. So it's pretty cool. You can see on the top label there you've got the G again, and it says on the side here, yeah, brewed in accordance with the Reinheitsgebot of 1516, of course the Bavarian purity law that then became the German purity law, but brewed with tradition. You can see that on the bottle cap there. It'd be cool if they had this on the bottle cap as well actually, but it's very nicely presented. And it should be pretty damn good. 5.8%, as I say, it's a Franconian lager style beer. Tells you a little bit about that, Hallerndorf, Germany. So yeah, it should be quite interesting. It's got Starköl on the side as well, which is quite interesting. That must be for the Swedish market. But let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. Really looking forward to this one. So, as you can see, a nice smoky opening on this beer. But we'll get it out and into the glass. I probably should drink this beer out of a tankard rather than a tulip glass. The Germans are very particular about what glass they drink their beers out of, but personally I find it doesn't make too much difference. I've experimented with that quite a bit, and it changes the aroma a little bit, but it really doesn't change the flavour. The flavour, of course, is chemical, it's not physical in any way. But you can actually see there's a good bit of sediment floating around in this beer actually. There's a lot of little sediment particles there, but you can see it's actually poured almost the same colour as a pale ale, to be honest. But I've never seen a Helles that is quite as bright as that, to be honest. The Helles ones always come across as a bit more yellow in my experience, but that said, when I hold it to the light you can see a lot of the nice bright yellow colour. But the colour for me, if I just poured this and had no idea, I would guess that this is a pale ale or an American IPA or something like that. It looks very, very nice actually. You can see there's a solid finger of a frothy white head on this one. Of course, the Germans won't drink a beer if it doesn't have a nice head on it, so that's exactly what you would expect. But yeah, it looks really nice. There's quite a lot of sediment floating around in this one. A few little bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there, and a lot of small ones going up towards the bottom of the head too. But overall it looks very nice. You can see there is a degree of transparency to it if I put my fingers behind it, but yeah, it looks pretty nice. So let's have a look at the aroma and see how we get on here. Yeah, no, it smells like a typical Franconian lager beer this. You've got everything you would expect, and that's just on one little glance of this. Yeah, you've got a nice bready malt base to this one, exactly what you would expect. That's really nice. You've got the big bready malt base in there. There's a little bit of cereal, a little bit of kind of caramel or biscuity, grainy sweetness in there. Reminds me of some of the biscuity syrups actually, but you can really smell that in this one. It's got a nice big bready malt base. Sorry, technical issues there. But yeah, as I was saying, you've got a nice big bready malt base on this one. There's a little bit of a kind of caramel sweetness to it, a bit of biscuity, grainy and cereal character as well. You can really pick that up in this one quite nicely. And on top of that, you've got some of these typical noble German hops. You know, you can pick out the grassiness, there's a little bit of floral character in there, and just a little bit of earthiness as well. Of course, you get hops that are native to this Franconia region too. You can also pick out just a little bit of citrusy character, but mainly it's a kind of grassy, floral, aromatic flavour that you're getting from this beer, or aroma, I should say. But it smells very nice. It has all of the typical elements that you would expect of one of these Franconian lager beers. So just take a little bit of time and smell this one before you actually get stuck into it. But yeah, let's give this beer a try now. We'll see how we get on here. So this is the Zoigl from Gänstaller Bräu in Hallerndorf near Bamberg in Franconia, Germany. Slange. Prost. Oh yeah, that is really quite nice actually. I can see why this beer is so highly rated within the style. That's a damn good beer, there's no question about that. If you know your German beers and you enjoy your German beers, you're certainly going to like this one. Oh. I mean, a lot of these beers that you'll come across in this region in Germany, they're nice and they're drinkable, but some of them, it's a little bit hard, I guess, to distinguish between them unless they're a completely different style. But this brewery to me really stand out just because the flavours are that bit stronger. You know, I've tried a lot of Zoigl beers, land beers, Keller beers, but this one really stands out just because the flavours are so much more, they're just that little bit more aggressive, and it makes the beer taste just a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's a lovely beer. There's no question about that at all. And the thing I've just thought of as well, actually, it's 5.8%. So it is a little bit stronger than you're typically going to come across. Most German beers, from what I remember, they're always between 4 and 5%. So this one is just that little bit stronger. You do get a little bit of alcohol warmth from it down here, and you can taste the alcohol a little bit in the malt base, but it's quite nice. You've got a bit more sweetness there. The middle of your palate is just blanketed with this nice big bready character there, a bit of the pale malt in there too, but on top of that you've got some biscuity sweetness, a little bit of caramel in there as well, but then it just kind of subsides and you start to get a little, in the aftertaste you get a little bit of a cereal kind of dryness to this beer as well, which is really quite nice. And it has that bready character. If you like this style of beer, you'll know what I mean when I say it has that typical Franconian sort of Keller Landbier Zoigl. It has that typical character to the malt base. It's almost like you've got a blend between big bready malts and pale malts on the other side. It just kind of meets somewhere in between that. So it's done really quite nicely. It's almost a little bit yeasty as well. You can just pick up that, but as you saw, this beer had quite a lot of sediment in the bottle when I poured it. So that's probably what's helping it come out a little bit more. But there's no question about that. This is a damn good beer. This is very, very nice. If you, as I say, if you enjoy these Franconian style beers, you are certainly going to enjoy this one, so make sure you try it. And interestingly enough, for a brewery that's actually very small, it is quite well exported from what I understand. So yeah, on the hoppy side of the beer, you have exactly what you'd expect. In the back corners of the palate, there's just a little touch of earthiness. When you move further towards the front, there's a bit more floral and aromatic character, and around the very front curve of the palate, it's more smooth and more grassy actually. But it has all of the things you would expect from the Keller Zoigl Landbier sort of thing. It's got the nice bready malts, it's got a bit of that kind of floral, typical German noble hop, but the thing that really makes it stand out, these flavours are just a little bit more pronounced, they're just a little bit more aggressive than what you would normally find in some of the other breweries around the region. And the other breweries, don't get me wrong, are very, very good as well, but to me, this one, it's almost like they've taken this German style and they've just kind of amped it up a little bit to make it more, just to make it a little bit more appealing maybe to foreigners and things, to actually maybe make, it's probably fair to say that this is almost, it could almost be mistaken for an American take on the German style. A lot of the, like for example, barley wines and things like that, when they go to America, they just become that little bit more malty and that little bit more hoppy actually. They just amp up the flavours. It seems to me like this is exactly what Andreas Gänstaller has actually done with this beer. It's really quite an interesting take on the style for me. So I think you will definitely enjoy this one. It's really nicely done. All the flavours blend together. Just behind the front curve of the tongue there as well, you've got a little bit of citrusy character coming out from the hops. So it's really nice actually. This is a very, very good beer. The Zoigl from Gänstaller Bräu in Hallerndorf from Germany. If you get the chance, definitely give this a go. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I would say this is mid-bodied. The carbonation on this is quite smooth. It's a little bit more oily than I remember the style being normally, but that's probably just because you've got the higher alcohol content in this one. There is a little bit of alcohol warmth to it. I've had beers that are far stronger than this actually and haven't even had a hit of alcohol warmth, but you can pick it up on this one a little bit. Maybe that's just because of the amount of malt and things that is used in this beer, but overall it's really nice. There's a good balance between the sweet side of the malt and the more smooth bready characteristics, and there's a good balance between the different hop flavours. It's not too dry, but there is a little bit of that nice kind of German noble hop dryness that you get. In the aftertaste, the bready character is just lingering there. A bit of the sweeter caramel and the kind of floral and grassy hops is sitting in there nicely too. There's a really great blend of flavours in this beer. So yeah, I'd recommend that you try this one. Like I say, if you enjoy these Franconian lager styles, the Keller, the Zoigl and the Landbier, you will enjoy this one. To me, it's almost like they've taken a traditional German style of beer and brewed it in America. As I say, the Americans like to kind of amp up these styles a little bit, but what's really cool is that this is actually brewed in the Franconia region, a very famous beer region in Germany. So yeah, this is very, very cool. So I have to admit, I really do want to try some more of these Gänstaller beers. Really cool to find a brewery that are doing this sort of thing, especially in such a historical region of Germany. So hopefully I can get a hold of some more of these for you at some point soon. But this is a very good beer, and the crux of the review is that I can see why this one is so highly rated. So definitely give it a try for yourself. If you enjoy kind of German Helles style beers and lager beers and things like that, you definitely will enjoy this one. I would say this one leans a little bit more towards the hoppy side of things. So it's a very good beer though, very well balanced, and if you enjoy German beer, you pretty much are going to enjoy this one. So make sure you check it out for yourself. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. Thanks for watching. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer and the brewery in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to know what your favourite beers from this brewery are, in fact. I hope those of you in Germany have enjoyed the review and my German pronunciation hasn't been too bad. But until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Go and check out my social media, and do let me know some of the other German beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review, especially the ones from the Franconian region. I've done a few of those already, so do go into the channel and search some of the beers that you're interested in. Slàinte just now, and I will catch you soon. Prost.